Say the no. All right. All right. Sorry about that. I was just updating our the
Okay.
website.
Problem, brother. So I'm Bruce. This is the campaign manager, Aaron. I hope you don't mind him being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I've seen some Twitter stuff. I haven't actually directly talked to you, obviously, and I
Yep.
wanted to know what your platform was before I vote, because I was going to vote today.
Yeah, absolutely. So most of my platform is up on votenino.com. The reason I direct people to that is, I could, a lot of, I think, the politicians out there are going around jerking people off saying they're going to do this and do that, and they have no fucking idea how to actually reach the finish line. And the website sort of outlines our plan. It's got bullet points there, but it's also got like a full thought behind everything. Now, in terms of those bullet points, business reform is a big part. I think the entire system needs to be revisited so that there's a group of individuals that are approving, disapproving, giving guidance to get businesses up and going. Legislation needs to focus on people's rights instead of focusing on illegalizing everything and giving officers carte blanche to just arrest and incarcerate folks. Weapon licenses need to be reformed so that civilians can protect themselves and stand their ground instead of the current status quo of, well, you could use the gun, but you're probably going to end up in jail and get arrested, even though you're probably defending yourself. So,
Right.
The reality of the matter is that gangs do hit the streets, and 9 out of 10 times, if you defend yourself as a civilian, you're going to jail. And so,
That was one of the main things is G6. Everyone's scared to carry a gun because, here's the thing. What good is the gun if you have 6 people that roll up on you?
well, I can answer that. I want all tier 3 G6 drivers to get free guns. In addition to that, I want to pass legislation that's going to be akin to the Castle Doctrine. They will be allowed to keep their guns out while transporting pallets and those large trucks. If they are approached, they can secure their truck as needed. And in regards to the policing side of things, if they do come across a scene where G6 failed at, holding it down or whatever, there's PD's not going to spend too much time, right?
Okay. I have another question for you regarding, now that you brought up PD. So what's that structuring look like when you're mayor?
Well, I'm not really.
How do you plan on, I guess the question is people go through processing and all that stuff. The variances of how it's done based on the individual or the officer processing. Do you plan on streamlining that and making sure that it falls within the laws, or is it going to be normal or standard business as usual? Or you seen that process? How it's done? I know you're a lawyer.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say again.
Oh, when an individual gets processed through, right? Through the law, through the jail, an officer. There's different ways and variances of how people or officers handle the individuals with charges. How do you plan on fixing that?
Well, so you can't really fix that because inherently reasonable suspicion and probable cause has variance. Because it depends on officer training, it depends on the circumstances. I've been a lawyer for a while, and as much as, I think the whole consistency argument it doesn't line up with American, the American judicial system. What I can say is that there are laws that had been in place, many of which have been reformed, but there may still be laws that get put into place that have too much gray area. So
Yeah, so speaking of that, the gray area, right? That's what I'm referencing, really, to be honest, is
Yeah.
because a lot of this stuff is based on opinions and emotions, which neither uh, really truly belong in law in the DOJ, besides a judge making a
Mm-hmm.
decision in the gray area, right? Whether it's law abiding or not.
Yep.
But perhaps this is let's say this an example. Individual gets arrested, go through, they have the charges read to them,
Yep.
get added to the MDT. Not all of them get added. They leave some off. Okay, if you plead guilty, I'm not going to put these on there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then when the individual says, no, I'm not going to do that, we're going to go bench trial. They say, okay, well, we're going to add these charges back on.
So
How do you feel about that? And do you
that
plan on fixing something like that?
that is a very meaty topic, and in that there's not like one thing that needs to change. It starts with legislation and making sure the legislation
Okay.
makes sense. Number two, it's making sure that there's more people becoming lawyers and being encouraged to be lawyers. Number three, it's ensuring that there's some minimum amount of like back and forth that can happen in the cells instead of the current culture of let me use, just take it to bench, just take it to the docket, because the reality is cops pretend that they know that there's, they're using it as a scapegoat to do shitty police work.
Well,
And
exactly.
I'm not going to allow that.
Okay, because I mean, it's pretty much like a bribe, right? Like, okay, take this or else. You know
Yep.
what I mean? If you
Oh,
go
yeah.
to take it to bench trial to defend yourself, they have the charges on there. Now you're back to they stack it on there
Mhm.
versus putting all the charges initially and then negotiating that downward. So I think that'd be the simplest fix, to actually follow the law and charge the individual with the charges without
Yeah.
stacking, of course. Then perhaps at that point, let the lawyers negotiate at that point.
Mhm.
This is negotiating directly with the individual, or if that is the case, um, the charges are already on there versus dangling them on there to plead guilty.
Yeah.
They can move on with their day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The reality of the matter too is keep in mind that as much as there's things that would be nice to change, the mayor has no power. They only have legislative power. So ultimately, legislation has to force the hand of the PD. Otherwise, traditionally, the PD will do whatever they want. But that goes in conjunction of making sure that the PD is following a policy that encourages protecting people instead of doing whatever they can in order to get the arrest, because that's kind of the sickness and the cancer that's wrapped up in the minds of a lot of cops. Is they think they're like in a fucking Valorant match, right?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
it as much as that might sound gross way to put it, it is what it is, and people see it. And I'm not gonna pussyfoot around just because that might make someone's fifis get hurt, but things need to get better, and that means doing things right.
Okay. So you're going to stand on business in professionally manner in regards to that. Are you?
Sorry, say again. You kind of.
So will you stand on business on?
I have been standing
Okay.
on business. I
Okay.
I had a shouting match with the Chief Justice. I had a shouting match with the Chief of Police. I got FOIA reform in place. I told the dispatcher to suck my fucking dick when she looked down on a victim of a crime because they were too fucking lazy to get a report together. I am not interested in laziness. That laziness is what got us here. What got us here is a mayor that spent 6 months, exercising how much of a small dick he had. It's I don't have time for feelings. I don't have time for stupidity, and that's gonna rub people off the wrong way. But the fact of the matter is, someone's got to come in with a fucking bat, right? And unfortunately, too many folks have a very selfish mindset, right? And what does that mean, right? That means, well, what about my arrest? What about my advancement in the police force? What about my business? What are you going to do for me? And that's not the mentality that is healthy. It's about how do we make Los Santos better? And I think I've been doing And part of that comes with finding people that are looking to make things better and not like putting aside sidestepping those that come at you like all of a fucking twist, you know, with their fucking, you know, bowl out. You know.
Okay, so I got a couple of other issues that as a citizen, I have residents here and in Blaine County. Taxes. Let's talk about tax. Well, before that, let's talk about taxes. What's going to happen with those? Because right currently with industrial and commercial tax, we pay the tax plus another tax of 30% on top of the tax. So we're getting double taxed. How do you plan on addressing that and from there?
That is in the hands of the state right now because I don't think there's a tooling issue.
Okay, so it's not something that's within your power as mayor.
Not. There's no means by which that could even be exercised right now, right?
Okay, just asking that question.
Yeah.
Then the next would be jobs, the current jobs in the city. There's
Gaz, thank you for the 9
for
months.
sanitation, for example.
Medi how
the
you
time
Medi
periods.
DM.
Plan on changing the time period so individuals can work.
Yep.
Throughout the day, like the other jobs.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay,
those
perfect.
things. I want a fresh coat of paint on all civilian jobs.
All right, because that's a big one. Because you know, G6, as long as you're logged in by 7 p.m., you can continue through the night, and then you have towing 24 hours.
Yep.
Grime is the same way as
Fresh coat of
Sani.
paint. That's going to be a big.
That's big. I mean, the materials is a big issue in the city because people are overcharging.
Materials are going to get maxed the fuck out. I want sanitation to run 24/7. I want people to be able to work sanitation and not piss off the boss.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Because
I want mechanics to be able to tune high performance vehicles instead of just providing repairs. There's a lot of little things that I'm going to be working very close with the state to work out. So there's interest again in these jobs instead of it just being like a grind fest.
Okay, and another issue I have, or concern rather, as a citizen, is housing market. Ridiculous prices are not any kind of regulated that people are asking for things. Is there any way or process that you can put in place for that? For instance, as mayor of Blaine County, what I plan on implementing is a real estate agency where everything goes through the agency.
Real estate agencies don't work. However, I do want people to not have to deal with having to. I want to get rid of price gouging of the real estate market.
That's the biggest thing. It's huge. It's freaking ridiculous, especially Blaine County. So what's that process look like then for you here in the city?
I think the way that it's going to work is I want when property is purchased, it should be based on a function of how much property do you own, and that puts you on the bidding list, right? So new property owners have a first bid, and I want people to actually, like, let's say this piece of property, its starting bid is 250,000. Someone can go in like silent auctions. That's what it should be. Now, does that mean that the small guy get fucked because they can't compete with the big guy? That's irrelevant. And it's irrelevant because the big guys are going to be spending more money and funding it back to the state, which allows equilibrium to hit over time.
Right, exactly.
As opposed to a system today, which is the first one that wakes up with the best ticket presses the purchase button, and then they put it back up. You know?
Yep, that's exactly what's been happening. It's not by a little bit. It's by like 3 times the price that they bought it for. It's
100%.
ridiculous. There's a property currently in Blaine County in Sandy. Purchase price was $209. They're asking $800K.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. People are fucking sick.
Yeah, I'd agree. But
I quite frankly, look, I when it comes to that shit, I'd rather those people get like booted out the fucking city if I'm gonna be 1,000. I think I think that's fucking toxic behavior as fuck.
Yeah, I agree. So now, as far as Buttcoin goes, right? How do you plan on implementing that kind of stuff in the city, if you can at all, like such as the purchases and transactions and stuff like that? Feasible to try to put something in place?
No, that's very construction focused, unfortunately.
Okay, that was a big question because obviously, other than serving specific purposes, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a viable asset that can be used as cash.
Yeah.
But okay, do you have any questions, Aaron?
Two. There's a problem throughout the city and up in Blaine County, but I feel more inside of the city. People looking to own businesses don't have the ability to own them pretty much where they want. Do you have any plans, working with the state to allow people to, own different types of properties so they can, I don't know, if they want to open a garage, they can find an actual garage around the city
Absolutely.
and buy it?
Yeah, I think that's that I don't want to touch on too much because that I'm gonna need more insight once in office. I don't want to promise that because I might find out that there's like red tape around that.
Right.
But
Understood.
I think that is a vision I'd like to drive towards. Right. It's more interesting for someone to open up a shop at Up and Adams, right? Eventually, as opposed to like a random hole in the wall that has Korean writing but is like an Italian restaurant.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, and back to the businesses. How do you plan on protecting business owners once they've been approved for their businesses with individuals selling the same type of products on the open market? Not on the underground, but like just straight.
That is also something that I'm going to be looking into, but unfortunately, there's not enough visibility. The problem is that there needs to be incentivization surrounding running a business and doing transactions legitimately, as opposed to trying to crack down on hand-to-hand transactions. And that's kind of the reality of things, is that when anyone can do a hand-to-hand transaction, that means no tax, but also means there's no benefit. It's easier for you to sell me parts in the back of your truck than it is for someone to have a parts store. So,
okay. And talk to me about your open door policy if you have one. How does that work? How does that look like?
There's going to be a schedule. You set a meeting, and we attend it.
Okay, is that open to everybody? Anybody?
Mostly everybody, right?
Okay.
If someone wants to set up a 2-hour meeting to talk about like how they want to sell their pussy or something on the corner of the street, like obviously I'm not going to entertain that.
Entertain that shit, yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. I did talk to Osvaldo for not much. Obviously, he decided to run at the last minute, at least officially.
Yep.
He said, vote for whoever you want to vote for.
Yeah.
You took the time to talk, and well, you're gonna get my vote today. So I really appreciate that.
Rather transparently, unfortunately, look, I'm not really in the business of talking shit, but it's kind of extended to a point where the man is effectively, painting me as the bully, right? But here's kind of the reality of the matter.
That's politics.
It is politics.
There's going to be a bully. There's always going to be one or two, so it's expected.
Here's the reality of the matter. He is his entire campaign is they've yoinked our titles off our website, and they're claiming to do X, Y, and Z when they have no plan when asked.
I see.
In our first conversation, he stated that he's going to put Eve Summers, Ash Ketchup, and Andy Jones to solve the problems for him because he doesn't know how to solve them. They're not going to do work for him.
That sounds like Bobby. Bobby said the same thing.
That's ridiculous. If you're not willing to do the work yourself and put in the effort yourself, you think people are going to do that for you? Eve is in my cabinet. Ash is in my cabinet. Andy's running her own campaign. So unfortunately, I think a lot of people have bought into the, it'd be funny to have this meme lord become mayor, and they may get their wish, but the question is, well, what the fuck is going to happen with the city? over the course of the next 3 months.
That's what the thing is about Blaine County, right? It's an opportunity as me as a candidate. There's a lot to develop, right? It's a clean slate moving forward into it. So there's anybody making any sorts of promises is pretty much full of shit, to be honest, because there's a lot that has to go into it. It's a brand new format.
Absolutely.
So there's not much that I can promise as a candidate, and besides the fact of certain promises, such as a medical facility operational. I'm a doctor as well. Getting that operational, and then open door policy. We don't even have a town hall. I talked to Justice Angel. She was stated that the mayorship mayor would have to operate out of a house temporarily or a commercial property.
Yeah.
In that area,
the city needs to be prepared to build. Yeah. There's no fuck around time.
But that's the vibe I got was like, it's gonna take a while, but it doesn't make sense. Then why open it up? Because now you're going to be able to provide a lot of things if you don't have the basic fundamentals of a town hall.
That's exactly it. And I think the big thing too is you want a mayor that knows how to communicate, right? Or just says random shit. Saying random shit isn't going to get legislation written. Saying random shit isn't going to convince any development to take place in the city, right?
Exactly.
That passion and that thought needs to be put in place. So I guess my parting words are going to be, if you believe in the message, please do spread the word. Because quite frankly, whoever the mayor is in Blaine County, they're going to have to work with the mayor down in Los Santos. They're going to have controls over a lot of the budgeting. So
that's why I'm here to discuss with you and just meet face to face. So see me about talking on platform and doing things and talking about my stance and all that good stuff as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully you can just absorb it and provide any input would be appreciated too.
Yeah,
I'm open
absolutely.
to any kind of suggestions and opinions and all that stuff as well.
Yeah.
There's pretty much only 3 of us running, right? You got a Gooding, but I haven't seen no action of. And then Cornwood bowed out, and then it's just Bobby, Andy Jones, and myself. So I'm the middle guy, the unknown.
Yeah.
So I hope to raise your support from the community, and a lot of people already started voting for me. So it's pretty exciting, to be honest.
It's been a pleasure. I was trying to reach out a while back, but I know things can get very busy.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me the time to talk, and we'll be in touch definitely. Once I'm there, hey, we're gonna definitely be in touch.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. All right, brother.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
When are you around normally? Like, how long have you been up for?
I'm around all the time, brother. This week it's gonna be madness.
Well, how about this? Okay. You help get my my name out there, get people to the website, and I'm gonna say good things about you because I genuinely look. Andy hasn't been around.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's no kind of campaign.
Bobby
whatsoever.
is psycho, so I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen to Blaine under either of their helms, right? Andy would do great back in the day, but I'm genuinely think that she's gonna get the position and then disappear. So,
she's the old guard. Also, people are looking for change. The people I've been talking to. Listen, I've been working at the burritos place, right? I have my pride. I put it aside to represent the people, okay?
Yeah.
And support individuals. And I talk to a lot of people coming through the burrito place. I mean, there's long lines all the time. People ask me, well, what's going on? Well, it's because I interact with them. I talk to them. I find out what the issues are. And I know what the issues are. If the issues are here, they're also in Blaine County.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is people in Blaine County have been ignored for so long. Now's an opportunity for them to have a voice.
Agreed.
And I want to be that voice. And I know the concerns because I've been on the other side. I've started from scratch and worked my way through every freaking job. I was a paralegal for 3 months, which failed because the system was broken. I could not become a lawyer. I don't know why that process is so busted, but it is.
Yeah.
You have other people that come in immediately and become a lawyer, which. So I went the doctor
route.
Oh
my god, it's a bunch of lazy fucks. I mean, look, I'll tell you right now. People were getting bar licenses randomly, and people were waiting weeks to get theirs, and that is not. I want a city that says yes, not a city that is filled with so much red tape that is really only there just so that one person can exercise their power onto someone else. Right.
Exactly. Well, the thing is, you got to get them while they're motivated. You got to get them while they're hungry. diffuse that motivation, then you lost
Listen.
potentially a great lawyer or
Yeah.
a great whatever it's going to be that you're putting the red tape around.
I'm
You know what
glad I
saying?
ran into you. This is the fucking energy that the city needs, just straight up.
Yeah, so I've been a part of it. I've been through the cycle, bro. And
Yeah.
as a doctor, the same thing. It's been great. To be honest with you, I don't do much doctor work. I put the limited hours because I'm trying to achieve as much as I can with the amount of time that I'm around. So I want to get I've gotten all the experiences on different levels of society, right? But that experience is very important to understand people's issues. You see what I'm saying? I can relate, and they resonate with me because of how I'm talking. They understand that I've been through that shit, that their concerns and all that stuff. Because it's been my concern. When I tried talking to Max, and that dude just blow me off. I mean, there's nothing worse. I'm sure he's done this maybe to you, or you've heard him do it. Nothing worse than when you're talking to him and he just picks up the phone and walks away.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, he don't even. It's so disrespectful and so belittling of an individual. Him doing that to them, and to myself many times. It's like, dude, why even bother? How can I get him out of office? He's not a people person. It's only to select group.
That man literally let his activities in the bed in his office dictate most of his decision making. I know because I lost a business of 60 people. First mechanic shop in the city, 60 employees, tow trucks and everything, because his feelings got in the way, because there was beef with his Secretary of State or whatever the fuck, and someone I bought materials for. That's the small dick energy that man was on. And
I wanted to do the same thing with that individual, because I was going to buy Siobhan's trailer for $200K was agreement, and then she put on Twitter selling for $300K, and I approached her. I said, "Look, where is Bond? I told you I'd buy it. If you don't have that, I don't have nothing to
no, she's a fucking rat.
say to you."
She's a
Because
fucking
nobody
rat.
would buy it at $300K, so she came back to me at $200K, and then so since that point, they had a vendetta. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what she did? She gave me like 15 grand towards for my initial investors, right? And the moment there was this tension, she wanted the money back. And the way that she approached it was like she's a gross individual. I'll put it that way. I like I said, I can come across as like an asshole, but I just say it how I see it. I'm not one of these like snake in the grass. I'm going to tell you how I feel because I want you to know, right? In the same way I want to know how someone feels, because that's how adults function, not like these fucking high school rats.
You got to be direct, man. That's the only way to be. And, well, not the only way to be, but it's the way that you are, and it's the way I am. It's the best way, so there's no miscommunication in between. Gray area. You know exactly what I'm coming from, and if it hurts your feelings, hey, grow some thick skin.
Ain't nobody got time trying to like figure out what everyone's actually thinking, and playing in a fucking disguise like a fucking like a game of like you're playing fucking poker, like over basic shit.
Yeah. So I really appreciate if you give me your support as well.
I do. I do. Listen, I am
the man. I am the man for the job. I can tell you.
Listen,
I'm passionate.
Let's do this fucking together, because I'm gonna tell you right now.
Okay.
I'm facing a guy that's like picking up fucking random fucking fishermen and bringing them to the polls, right? So his constituency is a bunch of people that are just doing it because they're probably getting paid $1,000, right? On your hand, you're facing a giant known as Andy, right?
Yes.
And I think I think I'm gonna put your name out there when I talk to people, and I'd like for you to do the same. And please direct them to my site, and let's fucking make some magic. We got a couple days ahead of us, and we can make this happen.
I'm around all the time, so I definitely will be around for Blaine County.
Hell yeah,
residents and citizens.
And if it turns out that you don't win the election, right? I want to offer you position in my administration, because I like the way you tick and I like the passion. I want to surround myself with people like that, because that's what the city needs.
Fair enough. I appreciate that opportunity.
Oh yeah. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Thank
let
you so
go,
much for your time.
And hey, thanks for it's a good meetup, man. I didn't expect to go this route, but
yeah, neither did I. So I'm glad to have
great.
All right.
Thank you. I'm gonna go over there and vote for you, brother.
All right. You take care.
All right. Thanks.
Have a good
I
one,
like
Mr.
this guy a
Jones.
lot. Take care.